Good evening, everyone. My name is Nathan Small, and I'm honored to represent District 4 here tonight. I believe deeply in community, and over the past 4 years, we have pushed long-stalled projects forward, formed new neighborhood watch groups, and brought big, medium, and small businesses to El Paseo, Picacho, the West Mesa, and other parts of District 4. Together, we have kept a very strong city budget and begun to reprioritize investments in public safety. Whether it's getting out and meeting neighbors to tour streets together, whether it's forming a community coalition to support local industries, or whether it's getting out there and rolling up my sleeves to join a great group of volunteers in beautifying an existing corridor that's seen better days, I have given everything that I could over the past 4 years since being elected in 2007. I think we've made tremendous strides. My wonderful wife, Xochitl Torres, and I go to local restaurants. We go to the farmers market for our shopping, and we find everything we need in this community. So for the next 4 years, I pledge to give everything that I have, to do everything that I can, and to work with community for the best 4 years. Thank you.
Mr. Diaz.
Okay. My name is Aaron Henry Diaz, and I'm a candidate for District 4 City Council. I'm a seventh-generation Las Crucean, born and raised here, proudly. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, Don Pablo Melendres, was the founder of Las Cruces. So I'm stepping into a role that my family has traditionally served, and that is a public servant. As a servant, neighbor to neighbor. As I walk District 4, the voters are yearning for more solutions and less rhetoric. I'm not the perfect candidate, but I am an active participant of the process. I'm a small business entrepreneur. I've worked on roofs, I've worked landscaping, I've worked in the office. I'm a regular person, a concerned citizen that is going to work from day to night to achieve the solutions that I'm walking the district and my neighbors are telling me that are not being done. So it is tonight that I hope that I can convince more neighbors to please consider voting for me and supporting our message of promoting public safety, of making sure our roads and codes are kept to quality measurement, as well as making sure we can economically develop our area and offer more business opportunities for young people who are graduating college, as well as for our unemployed in the community. So thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting all of us. And I want to thank each and every one of you candidates and current councilors, as well as the mayoral candidates, as well as the current mayor and our public servants running for judge. Thank you for running. This is democracy in action. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's what the League is all about, democracy in action.
That's right.
I'm going to get this financial question out. Again, you all are being asked to name your contributors and how you've arranged your finances for this campaign. I'm going to start on this end with you, Mr. Diaz.
City council race. As a young guy running for city council, I met this challenge with advice from my friends, encouragement from my family, and of course more encouragement from my neighbors. So generally I'm asking my neighbors, my friends, my family, anybody that has an interest in our district, and business people with an interest in our city to please step forward and help me get my message to the doors. I've had contributors from college age who like the message, a proactive, new, refreshing perspective, all the way up to a senior citizen who believes in my message as well. So it is a plethora of people and interests that are behind this campaign.
Councilor Small.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for the question. Quite simply, 4 years ago I ran. We had friends, family, and folks invested in our community who were stepped up and contributed to our campaign. This year it's the same approach. I will not accept donations larger than $1,000. And I'm blessed to have a wonderful family, many folks, many friends in the community and family. And the approach to go out, it's much more important how many doors you get to, you visit with folks. Over the past years, visiting with people, it doesn't cost money to stay in touch with folks. And I think that's where our primary focus has been. Thank you.
This next question is specifically for Councilor Small in District 4, but Mr. Diaz can comment on it. And you will have to fill us in a little bit on the background for those of us that don't know about this. Can you give additional information about the PUD that increased the lots around Burns Lake to 3,300 square feet? And is this going to be a continuing trend for North Alameda area?
Thank you very much for the question. The question refers to an area, it's known as Via Amador, and so it's basically from Amador south to Brown Road and from Valley Drive going west more or less to the road that leads into Burn Lake. It's a very large property that has both commercial, industrial, and residential zonings currently on it. And so the property owner came with a proposal for a PUD, or what's known as a planned unit development. The basic premise behind a planned unit development is that it deviates outside of the regular way of zoning and the regular process, so that there needs to be additional services or additional benefits provided both to the neighborhood and to the city in order for that development to move forward. Ultimately, with the Via Amador, there was a great deal of work, including extensive work to ensure or work as hard as possible to ensure that traffic issues, especially with the neighborhood there along Brown Road, did not impact folks who had lived in their homes for anywhere from 20 and on up years. There was a great deal of work also done to ensure that benefits could potentially be seen in the Burn Lake region. One of the things that I've done, we've held the Burn Lake Fall Festival and others to bring more attention to this area, and so that ended up being the model behind the PUD for benefits to the Burn Lake area. The project has not yet moved forward, although there, I think, are opportunities over there. What it taught me is that early, consistent, and continuing interaction with neighbors who are affected by any development proposal, whether it's a large PUD, whether it's a small subdivision infill lot over in the Pat Garrett subdivision on the other side of Valley off of Brown Road, you consistently need to get that cooperation. Over on the other side of Valley, I brought the developers, the city, and neighborhood residents out to do a street tour so that issues could be addressed not kind of in the cyber world or over the phone, but face to face where we were all together. I think that model needs to continue to be followed in the Burn Lake area and with the Via Amador. And certainly also, when we talk about North Alameda, I highly doubt that there are properties of the size where you would see a planned unit development take place. I think we all very much want to incentivize infill development, but infill development brings with it, I think, a special responsibility to neighbors that live in the area. I would close by saying that one of our big projects has been to bring new attention and more services, restaurants, better infrastructure to District 4 in the center and the west of the city. So I think in some ways, some of those opportunities, we've seen those start to take root along Picacho, El Paseo, and other corridors. There are possibilities for that in the Burn Lake area, but as I said earlier, it takes a great deal of collaboration with neighbors. Thank you.
I have a short comment on that. As a resident of the North Alameda area and family roots in that area, there won't be any more development, I see, in that North Alameda area. But in reference to PUDs around Burns Lake, we must first communicate, as Councilor Small has suggested, with the neighbors, with the existing neighborhoods first, before any such development takes place. We have to move forward together when we consider any project such as. So, that being said, I'd also like to see, budget permitting, whether Burn Lake, we can commence the revitalization. It is necessary, but it has to be budget permitting.
If elected, which programs do you feel should be slated for increased funding, and which programs should be slated for decreased funding?
As a youth in Las Cruces, I grew up playing baseball, grew up playing bantamweight football. I went on to play up to high school for the Las Cruces Bulldogs. I was a beneficiary of our youth programs and our Parks and Recreation Department. I think that is one of the most important departments in the city because they usually do serve our youth. That is the future of Las Cruces. On this board, Nathan and I are the future of Las Cruces. And it's important, it is important to see young people in Las Cruces have those sport activities, cultural activities, etc., available to them. So I would see, budget permitting again, because it is important to be fiscally responsible, especially in times as this, to increase our budget in the Parks and Rec Department. I do not support any such tax increase, but there are alternatives with internal financing, such as splitting the bed tax that financed the Las Cruces Convention Center, sending one of those dollars strictly to the Parks and Rec Department.
What would
was-
be increased or what would be decreased in funding? What were the programs that would be increased or
It
decreased?
would be the Parks and Rec Department, increase funding to them.
And do you see any departments being decreased?
Not at this time. Why? Because I have not efficiently seen any programs that need specifically. But I know that there are programs that only a small percentage of Las Cruces use. And when there are roads that need to be built, specifically in the North Alameda District, to alleviate the traffic, we should be looking to trim the fat from somewhere.
Councilor Small.
Sure. Thank you very much. I talked first, we were fortunate, and I'm proud that we were able to nearly quadruple the street maintenance budget. That still leaves us approximately half of where we need to be to really maintain our existing infrastructure for streets. So I think we have to start, and I've said this numerous times over the past several years on City Council, that we need to increase what goes to street maintenance. As we look, I think I'll talk about another program that we can increase after I talk about one where we're trying to wind down some of the funding. And that's simply in the buildings and the ownership under the city currently. We have a number of different properties, a number of different facilities that when they got started or when there was a program there, they served a very high use. But subsequently, that use is maybe switched to other areas or it has moved on. And I think just as any community or any family has to balance as you get something new, sometimes you have to let go of something that was old. We're undergoing and we have engaged a program to inventory city facilities to see which facilities can be put into the private market and as a way to move our community forward. Finally, I think when we start, as I said, I believe deeply in community, and one of the things that we must do as a community is prioritize safety. And so when we talk about being able to get Fire Station 7 up on the West Mesa, another huge priority that I came into office with and I think is going to greatly increase our economic development. We have a grant to cover the salaries of the firefighters who will serve up there. It only lasts for 3 years. So in public safety, we will have to increase the budgets both with those two. Thank you very much.